Hey everyone, so on this video I want to talk about different soul connections. I realize that everyone gets so caught up in, well, is this person my twin flame? I felt such a strong connection with this person and we went into separation at between 6 to 8 weeks and I don't understand and all this other stuff. And I realized after the last person that I was recently seeing, I had to make a video on this because although I know we have to stop using labels and I don't want to confuse you guys even more, but I just feel like this may help ease the mind and teach you guys something. I wanted to wait. I wanted to give it some time to get answers before sharing. So let's start with the basics. What is a soul connection? A soul connection is someone that you feel drawn to, right? And you can feel this with karmics, which are usually the more toxic ones. They come in and out of your life. They're very volatile. It could be violent, could be very abusive, right? And sometimes it could be just acquaintances. There's soul contracts that you meet people on a day-to-day basis. There's a soul contracts, there's soul ties. Then there's soulmates. Soulmates are those people that you feel an instant connection with. Every single one of them you feel an instant connection with, okay? Soulmates you feel a very instant connection with, but they're very peaceful, they're harmonious, they can last a long time and they can last for a short period of time. They can be romantic and they can be platonic. You have a lot in common with this person and it just feels very easygoing, okay? And you feel like you've known them a very, very long time. This is where it can get very confusing. And so the reason why I wanted to share this is, well, because the last guy that I was seeing felt identical to a twin flame. And it was quite scary because literally almost everything that happened in that dynamic happened with my twin flame. Almost, but not quite. I was talking to this person that I thought was my high-level soulmate for 7 weeks. I talked to my twin flame for 7 weeks before he ran. Only my high-level soulmate didn't run. He was pulling away, but he didn't ghost me. We ended things amicably, we ended things peacefully in a very loving way. However, there was something that just didn't sit quite right with me that he was a high-level soulmate or a soulmate. There was something that to me felt more profound. Now with a high-level soulmate, it is very intense. It is very similar to a twin flame. You have telepathy with them. You have a very strong connection with them, but it's a lot more harmonious and there's no separating. And this is how I knew that he wasn't a high-level soulmate, because he took off, he ran, he ended things. And I thought, okay, well, what the hell is this? This doesn't make sense. And the reason why I felt it didn't make sense was because of all the parallels we had, like every single one. And he was the one mentioning them. He was the one that was gravitated in such a very spiritual manner. And then it got so intense that, and I know this is TMI and this is quite personal, but when we were intimate, and even if I was just simply holding his hand, laying next to him, closing my eyes, I would have visions. I remember at one point I saw 1111 with my eyes closed. I was seeing light codes and I was seeing colors. And I thought, this is not a soulmate connection. This is way too intense for a soulmate connection. And I know there are people that may argue with me on this, but here's how I figured it out. I heard of the term twin ray. I remember hearing that term 2 years ago when I was first on this journey, and it didn't resonate with me. It was like, this doesn't go. When I heard about it again after this separation this last week, the amount of tears that just poured down my face because it resonated. I was having soul cries because I knew that that's what this man was to me. He was my twin ray. So I like to say that a twin ray is like a cross between a high-level soulmate and a twin flame, because literally I was thinking that he was my twin flame. Everyone was thinking he was my twin flame, but I knew that he wasn't, even though it was such a deep, intense connection. It was so intense. It was so magnetic. That's why there were times when I was with him, I literally felt like our bodies were merging. And he even said, the first time that we held hands, he literally was shocked and said, why is it that I feel like when I'm touching you, I'm touching a part of me? And it was like our bodies just wanted to merge and become one. And I've never in my life felt that with anyone else. So then I found out that the codes and the visions that I was getting while we were intimate was actually happening because it was healing a past life that we had in Egypt, where I was a princess and he was like a servant of the house, and the king, who was my father, ordered him to die. But he didn't realize that when he got slaughtered in front of me, that it would kill me because I died seeing him die. So we most likely got together in this life to heal that life. There was something different about this connection. I'm like, okay, but I've never heard of soulmates talking about soulmates this intensely. Like normally it's just more peaceful, it's comfortable, but not where it's intense, it's magnetic, it's passionate. Like we literally could not, it was like, you know what I'm talking about? It's a lot. And during intimacy, like I said, I would see visions, and I was seeing the number 1111. And then I kept seeing rainbows, and I was seeing numbers everywhere. And I thought, okay, what is going on? Was my twin flame a catalyst? And this person is my twin flame? And I said, no, that's impossible. My eyes are like my twin flames. Or I've seen my twin flame's eyes in the mirror when looking at myself, which freaked me out. And I've never had that with anyone else. And not only that, but I realized that my twin flame, he is like literally the definition of a divine masculine. He's alpha masculine, right? Whereas this guy I was dating, he is masculine, but he's quite feminine in some way. Like he's a lot softer. He's more spiritual, right? And that is the thing about twin rays that I discovered. Twin rays are so similar to twin flames. Except twin flames are a split soul. So it's literally your soul split in half. Whereas a twin ray, it's like two souls that completely mirror each other. And when I asked my Akashics recently what we were to each other, I was shown a vision of two souls standing in front of each other, and our hands were merging, and the guide said, he is a part of you and you are a part of him. And then I recently saw a photo that literally looked exactly like that. So the guides don't say labels like twin rays, but they were showing me that we were seriously, like it was like we were one, but we were not split soul like twin flames are. So a twin ray will trigger each other like twin flames to become their highest selves, which is probably why we had to go through separation, because it was triggering the hell out of us. Now, he is a fearful avoidant. I have become secure attachment, but it was making me go back into anxious attachment. However, I was also fearful avoidant in the beginning because I was running. I was trying to run from the connection. I'm like, there's no way. No, I already have a twin flame. I don't need to go through this again. But as soon as I allowed myself to receive and fell into the feelings, he started running. And so twin rays get triggered by each other just like twin flames. But with twin flames, there's more of that separation, long separation. And it is a little bit more, I wouldn't want to say toxic, but slightly more toxic. Whereas twin rays, it is more harmonious like soulmates. It is more peaceful, and you can communicate with each other. It's not as, you trigger certain wounds, but it's not as triggering as twin flames. And twin rays are usually more similar on a spiritual level, and hence why he and I, when we reconnected after 2 years, we were quite similar on a spiritual level. Not quite, because he was still just learning, but he was already upgrading himself. He was wanting to learn about Reiki, and I did healing on him and all these other things. But one thing that is so different is that your twin flame is going to be the one that pushes you through to your spiritual awakening. And that was my twin flame that did that. You can get dark night of the soul with all of these connections. You can get ego deaths with all these connections. You can get triggered with most of these connections. Maybe not so much a soulmate, because soulmates, you are more stagnant. And I noticed something that was different with my twin flame is that I instantly wanted to become the best version of myself, and I was glowing when I was talking to him. When I was with my twin ray, I wasn't glowing as much. I started glowing after. So that was a difference, but the one thing that I want to teach you guys with all of these connections is that no matter what, you have to focus on you. So it's not about union with them. It is about union with yourself. And how are you going to grow? How are you going to ascend? How are you going to become the best version of yourself? just remember that each of these connections are teaching you something. They're always going to mirror something back to you because the purpose of each connection is to help you grow. So it is not about union with them. It is about divine union with yourself and with God. I hope that helps.